up this morning, saw a world full of trouble now. Thought, how we ever get so far down? And how's it ever gonna turn around? So I turned my eyes to heaven. I thought, God, why don't you do something? Well, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted, couldn't bear.
So we have Achan. So most people feel they lost because of Achan and the fact that Achan had sin in his camp. That's true. But I'm going to tell you something else that was a problem in the text. And we'll see it was a problem because subsequently they corrected it. Joshua sent out spies. Their job was to look, record, and report back. You do not ask your spies for military advice. His spies told him, you don't even got to send the whole army, just send a fragment. These people live in ruins. Well, see, this is a problem. When you're dealing with people that live in ruins, when you're dealing with people that after 1,000 years, their daddy didn't build it back up, their granddaddy didn't build it back up, their great-great-granddaddy didn't build it back up, you're dealing with people that are comfortable being without.
Right.
You're dealing with people that don't have enough creativity to make a house. You're dealing with people that don't have enough ingenuity to take that stones they see and make it better. You're dealing with people that ain't got nothing to lose. So I always say the worst person to deal with is the person that ain't got nothing. There are some people that have generations of nothing. And they dealt with the sin of Achan, and that was just unbelief. After they got the unbeliever out of the camp. See, I would rather preach that because we focus so much on sin, and sin is important, but we focus so much on the details of sin. The essence of sin is what you have to attack in order to live a sin-free life, and that is belief in God.
Right.
There's a difference between walking in sin and making a mistake. Many times people make a mistake and the church is quick. I've always wondered about this. A guy would get a girl pregnant, didn't be blessed, had to be blessed in the office with the pastor, all kind of just weird stuff, because we feel that this baby, the Bible that we preach says this baby was predestined before the foundation of the world, but we're going to treat that baby differently because it's late. Many times people make a mistake and the church is quick. I've always wondered about this. A guy would get a girl pregnant in church, back when I was growing up, and he would get set down for, outside of wedlock, he gets set down for 3 or 4 months. The woman always got set down for 9 months till the baby came. Always. And I never understood, like, okay, so she can't be used by God because she's bearing forth the creation of God? I never understood that. But the thing about it was, we dealt with sin because we could see it.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, we had some churches and some church members who would treat that baby differently. Baby couldn't be blessed, had to be blessed in the office with the pastor, all kind of just weird stuff, because we feel that this baby, the Bible that we preach says this baby was predestined before the foundation of the world, but we're going to treat that baby differently because it wasn't born into the marriage, but we just blessed the baby with a husband that's cheating on the wife, beating the wife, but they're married. But we don't acknowledge that sin. So that's where we found out that it's not just that Achan's sin was in the camp, unbelief was in the camp. You attack unbelief. If you believe in God, you've got your basis of salvation. If you believe in God, you are walking outside of sin and you're walking with God. So we dealt with that. And so what we find out is, I like what Joshua did, because Joshua realized, okay, we're fighting the same fight that the United States of America is going to fight some 2,500 years later. When our boys went into Fallujah, Iraq, it was literally a war that was fought house to house. You see, these guys were in desolation. They were in ruins. So they would hide behind a broken house and they shoot their arrow. Or they jump out from behind a broken barn and slash the Israelites. So they decided that what we have to do, we've got to get them out of that ruin. And in getting them out of that ruin, he changed his whole battle plan. He said, instead of fighting hand to hand, what we're going to do is this. We're going to trick the enemy. And so what Joshua did is very militaristically, but I'll give it to you in a nutshell. Joshua presented only a portion of his army. In presenting a portion of his army, the commander said, oh man, we can knock them out. The commander and the king of Ai said, we can knock them out. Interesting fact, Ai means ruins, and Ai had a king. So y'all got to be careful because there's a king of ruins. There's a person that don't mind ruling over nothing. So watch out for that guy and lady. They're out there. So the king of Ai goes, oh man, it's just 1,000 or so. Let's get out of our little hiding places and let's go out and deal with them. And what Joshua did, he had his other army way behind the ridge. He had another portion of his army circled back behind Ai. So as soon as they got out of the desolation, the ruins, they looked back and they saw that the camp at Ai was on fire. And they said, oh man, we're surrounded. So as they decided to run to the side, you had the Israelites in the front, the other ones in the back, and then the host came up on the side. Absolutely annihilated them. So they changed their game plan.